Okay, I got my license now. What the F do I do? So we're so excited. This has been an awesome month because we have a few brand new agents, 3 in the room right now. And Janine is about to get her license, Lydia, and Sharice just got her license. And then we've got some veterans, in the room, and we're all, the same things apply to all of us, no matter how new we are and how long we've been in the business. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to draft and create your own business plan. Because I saw this post. I follow a lot of new agent groups, and I know Missy does too. And it's actually, sometimes it's just for comic relief and just to remember the pain of launching. And this one agent posted, okay, I got my license now. What the F do I do? Yeah. And it was funny and also sad and heartbreaking because there were people who had said, I've been licensed for 2 years and I still have that question.
That's what we're talking about.
So sad.
Exactly what I was telling you.
Yeah.
Other companies do
Right.
things so differently.
And so, that's why we want to focus on, and I'm going to turn this TV off if I can, because the light, the light, I feel like the light is making a bad silhouette here. But the thing that we focus on is income generating activity. And I won't even say the person's name because it's such a common thought, is somebody, had gotten their license and we wanted to work together all along, but then there was another brokerage that had this set training program, and you go to classes and it's very methodical. And I did not discourage them because they were excited about it. But in my heart, I was thinking, you're going to be in that training program forever, and then that won't get you anywhere. And then I don't know, something shifted in our conversation as we were going. And before they actually dove in, they just had kind of they were revisiting all their thoughts, and they were like, well, so what would it look like, to work with the team and all this stuff? And I said, well, the thing that we're going to focus on is we have all those classes, and I can tell you where to show up and point to the classes, and they're there in our brokerage, but we got to get you making money as soon as possible. And so that is the thing. So I think a lot of agents, they get their license and they're thinking, okay, I got my license now. They've just gotten a new job.
Right.
And this is not a job. This is a business that you just opened up shop, and you are open for business, and the business rests completely on you and your activity and what you do. Now, we cannot control the results, but we can control our activity and what we do. And then the results, it is time tested, proven time and time again. If you do certain activities, the results will follow. They have to happen. You can't stop it from happening. As long as you treat people nice, that's a key factor as well. You got to up your likability factor. If you have a difficult time and you feel like people don't know how to interact with you, okay, think about, am I being warm? Am I nervous? Is my insecurity showing? Which many times for me in the beginning it was. And I remember open house after open house where I always at an open house, I write down who walked in the door and what is their information. And if I don't have their information, I write down why I don't have it. Either, okay, they were with their agent, so I'm not going to get their information, or I tried and I got stuck on this part. I couldn't get past this question. And then I write that down because then I want to talk to my mentor or something. Let's do some role playing. What can I ask? Give me a script, so I need to fix my script. Or so many times I wrote down, I chickened out. And because I was measuring that and taking ownership of my own business and my own results, I had to decide, I'm not going to waste my and my family's time anymore by letting fear control me. So whatever it is, it's our business and we take ownership. It's not the economy. It's not the buyers. It's not the open house that we picked. It's not the interest rates. There's no other reasons that our business is thriving or declining. It's what are we putting out there? And so back to, the likability factor as well. When I chickened out, I had to be careful because then I was I could tell, okay, now I'm being too aggressive. Because I'm ready. I'm just on that war right now with this fear. And so, you measure, you take your own temperature regularly. You get feedback from other people. It's really helped me over the years to do an open house at times with other people. And then I feed off of their energy and I start to mirror what they're doing. And I'm like, oh, I like that. I like their style. I like what they just asked, things like that. So what we're going to talk about today is how to create your own job description for yourself, because you are your own employee. And are you happy with your employee's performance? Only you can decide that. And so you're going to give your employee their job description and lay out what they're going to do. And now I have this really handy dandy little guide. And if you're watching online, I'm going to put the link in the description so that you can download this and use it for yourself. What I love about this is, if you want to turn to page 2, that's the description of activity. Okay. So you've got listed right here, income generating activity. On the first page, let's go back to that. If you want to consider yourself, if you want to hire yourself for full-time, or maybe you're only looking for a part-time employee, which is you are your own employee, then if you want to be full-time, you need 75 points per day to be considered working full-time in this industry. Okay, this is just a general guideline, but it's a great, it just helps you measure. And then you get to own, well, I thought I was full-time, but maybe I really just want to be part-time. It's okay to decide that, but we have to be honest with ourselves. Or maybe we want to give a full-time effort, but we're in a season of life where kids are sick, they need extra care, whatever that is. And you can just be honest about your situation. So what you do is, I used to just have a spreadsheet for myself, and I would just track my points each day. And each of these right here, instead of on this paper and having it handwritten, I just put this into a spreadsheet. And then each day was a different column. And then I would keep track of every single day, which activities I did and how many points I gave myself. So that way I would know, am I really working full-time or am I working part-time? And am I doing income generating activity? Because if I'm not doing the things that are on this list, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm doing something, but so a lot of agents, they'll go to classes, sit down and do trainings because that satisfies their complex of, I need to be busy. But busy does not mean income generating. So then you're going to, if you want, you can use this physical list, you can make copies of this, whatever you need to do, but it's really good I would just challenge you, do this for 2 weeks, do this for 1 week, do it. And then what we're going to do is right now, make a sample business plan out of this. Okay. So let's just do a hypothetical business plan. Now, how many of you, and I don't know online, but it's okay. How many of you got your number for your deals per year that would help you get your freedom number from last week? Katie, awesome. I think Lydia, you did too.
Finished it. I got to the point where you and I talked, and then I just.
Yeah. You just continue through the process. So, so I think you start with that number. Katie, would you be open to sharing your number?
Yeah.
How many deals this year?
And when you said number, I thought you meant like goal for.
Oh, no, never mind.
So
That's
sorry.
okay. That's okay. So last week we handed out a sheet that helps you identify for the amount of money you need to make, how many deals are going to be required for this year in order to fund your life. And you can have your need to make and your want to make goal. And so you could go, that. You do. Okay. How many deals?
Just to be able to like survive and sustain 12 deals a year.
12 deals a year.
A month.
One a month. Yep.
My original goal for years was like 3 a month. I mean, I've made that a few times.
Of course.
Then, I'm like, I have money. I'm going to spend my money. Wait a second. And 2 months down the road, why am I not, I have no business, what's going on?
And you're kind of in a rebuilding season.
I am.
So that makes sense why 12 would, even though you're capable and you've done way
Yeah.
more in the past, but when we're rebuilding, hey, I mean,
Absolutely.
we've all rebuilt,
Yep.
right? So let's go with 12. I think that's a good goal for most
Yeah.
people, right?
I
Most
think
people
so.
would say they want to do at least 12 a year.
Right.
So if you're trying to do 12 a year, that's your goal. So there's this concept. I never knew what it was called. I just would kind of use these notes. And then Missy told me, oh yeah, it's this 1-3-5 system. I'm like, wait a minute, what is, and I even had to call her this morning again, like, tell me about the 1-3-5 again. And it's literally what I would do, but I didn't know what to call it. So 1-3-5. So one goal is how many deals you're going to do per year. 3 is what are the things you're going to do to reach that goal. Okay. And then 5 is what are the activities under each of these income avenues? What are the activities that are going to be required for you to get in place or you to do in order for each of those things to happen? Okay, so I think because we're in this group and we focus on open houses, for sure, 1 should be open houses. Just as an example, you don't have to do open houses, but we know that that is a proven lead generation system, and it is almost no cost. So the best ROI that I have ever seen in real estate is open houses. Just to give a shout out to anybody who's sitting there, even online thinking, oh, open houses don't work anymore. Well, so Lydia, I'll just use you for an example today because she just got her license and she's done open houses, 3 open houses. So 2 weekends in a row. As soon as she got her license, she didn't even have her MLS key yet on her first open house. Didn't even have her business cards. And so the first open house, she got 3 leads. And if you can get 1 solid lead per open house and you do open houses every weekend and you do maybe 2 a week, I mean, that's 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 8 solid leads a month. Who would want 8 solid leads right now that they know you, they like you, they trust you, you've already introduced them to your lender? And then this weekend, our favorite lender, Jeff Compton, he texted me and said, Lydia's on fire. She sent me 5 clients to get pre-approved this weekend.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. That's amazing. And I know Saturday, Renee was so kind to help Lydia just do the open house
Wonderful.
together and team up.
Got
And
me
so,
fired up.
and you guys had like 40 groups through?
About 40 groups, yeah.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Like I've never had an open house of 40 groups.
That house
So-
was in 1960,
Yeah.
and I mean, it wasn't like a fancy house or anything, and I couldn't believe, and so many people came in, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
So, and then, so she, aside from the 5 she sent for pre-approval, she also got a cash buyer. So
Sweet.
open houses,
Wow.
but open houses don't work. They don't. Nah, you don't want to do it. No. No, so open house. So I think, what's the first thing you need to do when you're going to figure out open houses?
Find a good house
Get
to live in.
one.
Yeah, book it. That would help. Now, some people give up here. Whoops, because booking an open house is not easy when there's no inventory. I've been booking open houses the last 2 weekends, helping people book them, and I've had to make like 60 phone calls.
Mhm.
You just do it, I will until you
I will
don't
until.
stop. If you can't get it in your target neighborhood, all right, go somewhere. It's how hungry are you for this?
That's right.
That is the thing. How hungry are you? And so then, okay, so book the open house. You probably also need to, learn how. So it might be partner with somebody. If your open house game, if you feel like you need to re-up it or you're not getting the results you need to from your open house, shadow somebody. Get out there and then, so booking the open house, learn how to do the open house. I think you need to measure your results. Like I was talking about, every single person or group that comes in, you need to at least count them so you know how many exactly. And then again, if you don't get their information, why didn't I get it? Because then you're going to increase your success rate, and you're going to start, like nowadays, the only time I don't get information is if they have an agent. And you can even work and get their information if they do have an agent and that agent isn't with them. But just me, myself, where I'm at in my business, I want to work with people who are thrilled about working with me. And I don't, when I was new and desperate, I didn't care. I'm like, I'm going to try and convert them to me at all costs, and that's fine too, if that's what you want to do, but measure your results. Yes.
This is a little bit different, but under the open house category
Mhm.
status. So was with you, was phenomenal, loved it.
Yeah.
On open houses, do we pretty much just garner the foot traffic from our signs, or do we ever post them digitally? So like,
All the above. And
Okay.
when you have booked it with somebody, with an agent, they are also posting it all over
Okay.
the internet. So it's advertised. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So they'll put it in the MLS and that goes all over the internet.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can post, of course, like that. Good question. So, anything else right here that you guys,
Renee taught me a lot.
I'm sure she did.
And this last weekend was so different from the first weekend.
Yeah.
It was crazy. She said, okay, I'm gonna call the agent and I'm gonna ask questions and I'm gonna find out about this house. And I'm gonna, do all this stuff. And I'm taking notes and I'm okay. And then people asked the questions that she found out. And I wouldn't have thought to do that. I would have thought to call and ask the agent, the listing agent, about the house and about, this or that, and, certain things about the house. And I told her, I said, so crazy because nobody asked those questions last week. I would have been so unprepared. Thank God you were there.
Yeah, but you would have figured that out of desperation. You would have said, "Oh, let me find out," and you would
I
have.
probably would have.
I think you would have. I think you would have, because how else will you find out? You have to call the listing agent.
Well,
So,
and-
but
as
she
busy
just
as-
knew
as
up
busy as
front.
that Open house was.
Yeah.
She would not have been able to get these 5 because they were just all coming in 5, 6 at a time, and you're like,
Oh,
what?
Renee, so
but that's just-
awesome.
no, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just calling before and getting some,
Yeah.
how old is the roof?
Yeah.
How old is the HVAC and what,
So
if there's
good.
a pool, people always are gonna ask you how.
I
what's the
love it.
deepest part of the pool? What was the
So
pool?
good.
Maybe something to talk about with the people.
Absolutely.
Did you know that, this is not a flip. The people who lived here made these upgrades for themselves. And that made a difference. They're like,
That's so
yeah, it was
great.
just really, really good. And just
Well,
the preparation part
Yep.
of it.
And I've always just found that every time, I like what you said as far as you would figure it out. The problem is that when they ask me a series of 3 to 5 questions and I'm like, I don't know. Like their confidence in wanting to work with
Yeah.
me is just
Yeah.
like,
It's a
so
good
you
point.
really don't know, do you?
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
So why don't I put my hands, I'll put my real estate purchase in your hands. Since you don't know anything.
It's right. No, that's why it's so good to work with a few different people. Everybody brings
Everybody,
such,
yeah.
and so, and that's awesome. That's so great. So thank you, Renee. That was
Thank
such
you.
good input. The other thing is, consistency. How many are you going to do per week? If you do one open house a month, do you think you're going to have the same momentum as if you do one a week?
No.
Absolutely not. And that's why people try an open house. They dabble in it. They don't really do them. They just dabble. They tip their toe in. Because sometimes you have 0 groups come through.
Yeah.
So if you do it once a month and that weekend there was nobody that came through, then you would think open houses don't work. So consistency, and so what you do is you decide ahead of time, how often am I going to do these? And you block your calendar out. You have that family meeting. You say, here's what mom or dad's going to be doing for this season. And you get the buy-in from your support system. I know at church I was highly involved and I had to tell my team leader, hey, I'm going to be doing this. So I probably can't stay after church for these things because I just have to, and no problem, So if you just communicate to your support system, and then anything else right here?
I would say just make sure you follow up on all your leads.
Yes.
Like, that's so
Yes.
important.
Hello, follow up. The fortune is in the follow up. So have your follow up system, because I remember my first year of real estate. Now this agent is super successful now, but the first year we were on a different team, but he was doing open houses just as much as I was. And we would just, kind of like cheer for each other. And I remember he didn't follow up and he had a spreadsheet of like 90 names. I'm like, are you kidding me? I go, what if I just do all the follow up and I'll split it with you? He was like, yes, let's do that. That's how much he did not. He was avoiding the follow up. He was willing to split if I would just follow up and get something going.
Wow.
And so anyway, follow up is intimidating.
Yeah.
Because you have to put yourself out there. And it's like Cindy has said before, hey, rejection's just part of our business. Come on, bring it. Reject me, ghost me, bring it. I mean, it's just part of it. And so you don't worry about that. I've heard so many story after story, and I've experienced it where you're keeping in touch, you're following up, and you're assuming they are gone. They don't ever want to hear from me again. And then 6 months later, oh my gosh, thank you for this. Hey, we saw this. And they don't even realize they're not replying to you. You just put them in. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is your SOI. Okay. Now you can put any 3 things here, but I want to focus. This is an example. This is the proven methods. Okay. SOI is sphere of influence. So what do you do with these leads you're capturing? If you do nothing with them, or if you are manually following up on every single one of them, that's so much harder, because we actually have a database, a CRM, included with our business tools when you're with EXP, and most brokers have something, but you have a CRM. Is that called customer relationship management? CRM? It's a database management. I think it's client contact related. Anyway, so what that does is you not only do you manually follow up, you text them, you call them, you reach out to them. And by the way, don't just text them and say, hey, how's it going? They don't care about that. Send them something that is of value. Send them a house that, hey, I just saw this hit the market, or hey, this is coming on market and it's off market. Nobody knows about it. If you want to see it, let me know. If you're free later today, we could pop in and pop out 10 minutes.
Christa, I heard a stat yesterday that it's something like 85% of people respond to homes, period.
Homes.
They don't care about all these other things we're doing and sending them whatever. They want to see homes.
Yes.
That's what they click on. That's what they'll respond to your text.
Yes.
So what do you mean by that?
Listings. Send them listings. Even, just send them listings. Hey, saw this home. What do you think?
Got it.
Thought of you when I saw this. What do you think?
Well, and that's why we all watch these home improvement shows.
Exactly.
It's just intriguing. You want to look.
Exactly.
I do the same thing. When I'm scrolling through social media, I'll see someone's listing. Oh, let's see their listing. I'll click on that 9 times before I'll click on other things.
So what I used to do was open houses, then I would have like our day in the office. I think we did meet on Tuesdays,
We did.
because I would come early before the team meeting and I would book my open house for the following weekend.
Right.
Sometimes I would have 5 booked before the team meeting and I'd say, hey, does anybody else need an open house? Because not everybody had a chance to do that. And I had to drop my kids off at school. I could come early. And then after the meeting, I would go back in the office and I would just sit there and do all my follow-up calls again. Just, hey, and yes.
I just was wondering, the PCAR meetings that are Tuesday mornings, do you guys ever go to, like, what if you want to put a house on tour? How do you do that?
I forget that PGAR is on Tuesdays because
Oh,
when
okay,
we started
no.
our team meetings, it was pandemic time
Oh, okay.
and there
I
were
was
no
just
PGAR
curious.
meetings. So
I'm
I-
just curious.
yeah.
It's not, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just was wondering, because when I get a listing, I
You
I
go
will
and
present
show
it and which I hate, by the way.
Yeah, me too. So the only time I ever have done that at P
I was
card,
there when you did the one.
I know, and I've done maybe 3. It was back when it was a buyer's market and things were sitting.
Yeah.
I don't need to in this
We
market.
can't.
I'm like, we price it
That's
right.
true.
I got 8 offers on my new listing from
No,
Saturday. I
I
mean,
get it.
so if it's sitting for 4 weeks and you need to miss a team training to go do a P card, yes, that's
Got it.
understandable. Which, by the way, if you need to miss a team meeting for any personal reason, that there's no questions out,
Thank you for
asked.
recording,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah. So,
Hey, Christa, let me say,
yes.
not only listings. I mean, I'm just saying, I said that, I don't want you to think that you only text listings. There's a whole thing around this. It's calling and texting and emailing and calling again and texting and emailing and calling again and texting and emailing. So it's, not just that those have higher rates.
Yes.
It's because there's a lot of flashy things out there that say, oh, send this information to your client. This is what they want. Really? All they want?
Like
All they want is
articles, like for
information.
instance, articles about the new design trends.
Yeah.
No,
No,
they don't care. They have
That's
Pinterest.
just white noise.
That's not what you're in their
Exactly.
life for.
Yeah.
Bring them a
They
property.
can
Yeah,
care less.
okay.
That's for sure.
So your CRM is KV Core at EXP. That's what we use.
Here, record.
Yeah, KV Core. And there's classes every week in the cloud on how to use it. I don't think it's very difficult because even the top performing agents are the least technical people you'll ever meet. That's if they were highly technical, they'd be terrible salespeople. So, I mean, they made it so easy that a 60-year-old top producing grandma could do it. Okay, so don't let the technology intimidate you. If you're not adding them to your CRM, you don't have a business. Bottom line, you do not have a business. This is your business. That is your client base. So you're going to take these, add them to your CRM. You're going to put them on an automatic drip. They're going to get properties that are suited to whatever their search is. And then you are also going to manually, every now and then, you're going to call around, you're going to network, you're going to say, hey, I'm looking for this. Do you have anything coming on the market? And if you meet somebody that does, you're going to text that private, unknown information to your client. And so you're going to do the manual. And then your goal is this in the follow-up. That's a whole other thing. But your goal is to show them a property. Just show them a property, show up, So anyway, in the SOI, so your CRM, so you want to make sure you are doing email. And that's, I think 1 time a week is not too much.
Great.
To me, minimum. And if you have your CRM, this is automated. You don't have to write this stuff. It's really, really well done stuff.
So I haven't been able to get to that yet.
Mhm.
Because I'm still getting.
That's okay.
I'm getting onboarded.
Yes.
So on those emails, are they already kind of
They're
pre-drafted?
pre-written.
and-
It's templates.
Perfect.
It's plug and
And you
play.
can edit it to make it look
Yeah,
like, so.
right, I can make my
I was
voice.
just gonna say, for people that don't know, a CRM, so when they get a text, it'll look like it's straight coming from you.
Yeah.
You
Love it.
will not.
They don't know it's a
not
robot.
they're doing.
And
Let's do it together.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, and the system thinks it's you because
Yeah.
the AI, it will interact with them enough to where the AI is like, okay, Missy, you need to take over now.
It's
Because
pretty awesome. actually.
Yeah. So, but what you need to put out there, if you're not using a CRM, then that means you're signing up to do this manually yourself. Okay, so
Exactly.
email once a week. You need to do printed postcard or letter once a month, minimum.
I'm gonna send you something that I've used for years and it's free and everybody loves it.
Love it.
So I'll send it to you and you can just take a look at it, tell me what you think.
I love that. And then Cindy does a quarterly newsletter that's very personalized.
Mhm.
So that would be, is that
That's
my
you.
phone?
That's you.
I can't answer right now. Okay. So quarterly newsletter, and she actually does that with pictures about her family. She has a recipe in there, and that's more very, very personal. So that is like, here's who I am. And that's the relationship side that makes you more human.
Mhm.
I think one of your letters, I mean, we have whole campaigns that you can download from the internet to get ideas on what to send. But your first letter could be a story about yourself, how you got into real estate, what your strengths are from the past and what you bring to the table now. Your second letter should be your resume, your life resume, what you've done, any significant achievements you've ever made, what you've done in other businesses. And, also in that resume, you can say, I am part of a top producing team in the area. If you're brand new, that's okay. Leverage our credentials. And so the quarterly newsletter, that's a more personal, here's what's happening in my family, here's a recipe, here's, so anyway, so that, and then, personal either handwritten notes or text or call or Facebook message. Okay. So this is a personal, you took your own time out, you hand wrote a note, you mailed it in the regular mail, or you sent them a text with their name in it, and or you sent them a private Facebook message so these are things you just constantly doing. And again, for all of these things, we have to time block when.
Right, that's right.
When
Absolutely.
if it's not on your calendar, it's not happening. So I used to do a lot more handwritten notes than I do now. Now I do more texts, Facebook messages, but I want to get back to my handwritten notes. They are so powerful. I would just buy big packages, and I would just send like 5 or 10 at a time, whatever I had time for. I would just think about what message do I want to put out there to those that I love or people that I care about. And some people I had met only a couple times because we met in an open house, but I remembered they had kids or whatever. And I would just say, hey, Mark and Susie, just thinking of you came to my mind today. And this year, I am just wishing that you will have many, many days full of lots of belly laughs in your home, full of joy, and that everything will just fall into place for you this year. That's it. Nothing about real estate. Nothing. Because if you're doing this and this and this about real estate, none of this would be real estate
You were
related.
like the master of Facebook. Every time I go to one of our, because we have a lot of the same mutual friends, and I'll just be like, Christa, friend, I mean, she just posted it 5 seconds ago. How did you? And I'll be like, oh, me too.
She beat me to it.
I'll put an arrow to it. I'll just be like, what she said. Because it's just like she's always on it and she's always encouraging everybody. I'm just like, girlfriend, I can't keep up.
And I often question my motives. Like, am I doing this because I care, or do I have an agenda? And I think that's the thing is, whatever your motive is, people will feel that.
Yeah.
So if it is with an agenda, hey, people
That's
will
true.
feel that. And I can't stop them from feeling that. But I really pray that it will be sincere, and
It comes
then
across very sincere.
and I believe that
Yeah.
whatever your motive is, that's an energy force, and you can't fake it. People will sense it.
I
So-
think that's who you are. And I think
Absolutely.
so you're a genuine person, but I think, so you and I, our worlds have overlapped for many years,
Yeah.
right? And we've talked about
Mhm.
business, but I think one of the things I've admired or appreciated about you is I've always known and respected that you took your business as being a real estate agent very seriously, but you weren't disingenuous.
So
Right?
Charisse, brings up a good point, because I wanted to ask you something
Sure.
when we were talking about this, because you are somebody who, you were a stranger,
Mm-hmm.
then barely acquaintance,
Mm-hmm.
and then we became friends.
Right?
But I had put you guys on my mailing list just when we were acquaintances,
Sure.
really,
Yeah.
right? So did you ever feel like, oh, that's so weird? Why is she?
No, because getting to know you as we grew in our
Mhm.
relationship incrementally, you were a genuine person, right? I never got that energy or sense that you were a climber or a leveraging, right? You're not a leverager.
Right.
And I think we can all sense that when
Yeah.
someone is
Yeah.
like positioning
Yes.
themselves,
Yep.
it's very disingenuous. And we know when they're strategizing with us. But you're just a genuine person. But when I'm getting your drip campaign or whatever, I processed that as she takes herself seriously in her business. It's just a very different, it's just very different. Does
Right,
that
right.
make sense?
So, and I wanted to bring that out because when I first put Sharice and her husband on my mailing list, I mean, there were a lot of people on that list that I thought, oh, I'm so embarrassed that I'm gonna be in their face all the time.
Right.
I don't want to be that person, that salesy person. But the guy who he's kind of like a coach. He told me, Christa, because also my face is the most prominent thing on everything that goes out.
Right.
And that also I was like, I don't like that because it feels so awkward. But he said, no, you're likable. You're sincere. As long as you have those qualities, this is how it has to be, because your face is that's who people are buying. It's you, it's not anything else. And so when it comes to SOI, you have to be prominent in their face, and you have to let that go of what are people going to think.
Yeah.
They're not paying your bills.
Yeah, but I think,
And so this is perfect example, because what ended up happening with Sharice and her husband has happened with so many other people, where they just were like, oh my gosh, you're killing it.
Yeah.
And at the time when I first started doing that level, I was good. I was Master's Club, but I wasn't killing it. And I thought, oh, thank God they think that. And then people would email me or text me that because I do social media ads, like people in my marketing campaign, my video ads follow them everywhere they go, even to the gym. Their kids get my video ads on their games. And my kids' friends, and my kids' friends are always telling my kids, oh my gosh, your mom is on my video game. And so and then people would text me, they would be at the gym working out and see my video pop up on their treadmill. They're like, oh my gosh, Christa, you're everywhere. And it's really, really powerful. So he told me this, he said, let us do all that for you. And you can do this for yourself. You just use the tools that are available, right? Mm-hmm. You are a professional marketer. That's what you are. You're in the marketing business. Okay. And so the better you market yourself, the more your business will grow, because best known beats best every time. You have to be best known. And so then he told me this, Christa, let us keep you in their face, in their face, in their face. And then you just do what you already love to do, which is love on people. Just love on people. And that's when I thought, man, I got to post even more on Facebook and Instagram and comment on people's stuff and like it, because I want them to know I like you for you. You're not just getting my marketing material and I'm waiting in the wings till you call me for a house. So that kind of drives me to be more active, because I want to make sure that they don't think I'm just marketing to them, that they're a dollar sign to me. So it really, this is so important, but I will tell you, this is just busy work without all this.
Yep.
And this, without this, it will come across like, oh, I'm just a dollar sign. So are you guys getting an idea of the kind of work you signed up for and the kind of employee you're looking for?
Right.
And if you don't
fire myself.
Well, I'm on my own probation right now.
So what I ended up doing, once I got to a certain point, that's when Fusion Growth Partners called me, because they're always looking for agents who are producing at a certain level, who they know need this. But it's hard to do all this yourself manually. It's really hard. I wasn't doing it. I was like, Renee, I gotta hire somebody, because I'm not doing it. So I need to find someone. So I was looking at hiring a part-time employee, but then I would have to still manage all of it, tell them what to do, how to do it. It's a full-time job. So Fusion called me. That's why I do Fusion. I pay them to do all of this for me. You can do that. You don't have to do that. When you're new, don't. Just do it yourself. You don't have 350 leads in your database. You can do, you use your CRM, do a quarterly newsletter, like do what you can. But this is your goal, right? For the 5 activities. Okay. Okay, Nate, I'm going to put one out there that is kind of It's very proven. I know people who have built their entire career on this, and that is events. Okay, so you need to decide again, when are you gonna do it? Right, on all these. So when, I'm just gonna put that, book it. Have you ever, your house has been in like such disarray that you're thinking, oh dear God, I don't even want to walk into my own house. I can't even rest there. But then as soon as you throw a party, how clean does your house get?
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Like, oh, even if it's, let's just put all this stuff in a box and put it in the garage. I mean, whatever, it gets clean, it gets tidied. So that's how this works. You need to set a date first and everything will come together after that. The rest is details. So you need to set the date. You need to invite people, because if you have invitations out there, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get it together. So, so there's a few different things you could do. The most successful are when you just throw a party and just have friends over. Now, I don't drink alcohol. I'm not against it at all, but I don't know anything about alcohol. But my coach said, if all you do is you put people in a room and you have music and wine, that's all you need. For me, I don't know what I would do with the wine thing. I have done other,
Appetizers look great.
yeah,
Food,
appetizers,
yeah,
there you
people
go.
love
And
appetizers.
mocktails, but anyway, so I think you could do this with just 10 people, 20 people. They get Marguerite Crispello. She has like 100 people
All the
at her
time.
house all the
I
time.
love
She
that.
throws these big, huge parties. Everyone's invited. Her parties are famous, and they have, she has created a stage, and her husband does stand-up comedy. I mean, they have music, but that didn't, I'm sure it didn't start that way.
No,
I'm
I'm
sure she
sure.
just started with a few friends, some
Mhm.
clients in the backyard, and there's no agenda. Again, it's relationship.
Just a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
So let me ask you that.
Yeah.
So in that, they have a get together, right?
mhm.
Does that person, you said Misty or Missy or? who'd you-
Marguerite.
Marguerite. I had the M.
Mhm.
So do they say anything like, hey, I'm here, I do this, or am I just am I reinforcing my relationship?
You can
So-
go either way.
Yeah.
I've heard it said both, that you should do this and you should do that. The same coach that helped me with this said you should not talk about real estate.
Mhm.
That's what he told me. He goes, don't even call it client appreciation. Just say, hey, I'm having a get together, wanted to invite you. We're going to have this and this, hire McCooney to come do food for you or whatever, cool chef there is. So
I'm
Yeah.
I'm thinking hybrid. I'm thinking, like, if you do it quarterly, 2 events are gonna be totally no real estate involved. So like with us and our family, we've always had huge 4th of July
yes,
events.
you have.
And so we can't have them
Yes.
at our house, and we always have a live band on. We can't have it at our house anymore with HOA and all that. However, we can rent the local park, which is literally a block down the street, and we can do that. Well, that's gonna be all about Missy Taylor Realty Group.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have just low key, not, big banners, but low key, that will be about that. And inviting the whole neighborhood plus my sphere of influence. But then the ones that are gonna be smaller, no real estate. It's just
Yeah.
gonna be, so maybe every, 2 of them a year will be low key, no real estate, 2 of them, maybe I'll rent the movie theater. You guys,
Right.
that's cheaper than you think it is.
Yes.
To sponsor a movie night.
And if you
know what?
go in with another agent on the team, split the
Even cheaper.
cost, contact Jeff Compton. Hey, you want to split this with us? And he'll chip in.
Yeah.
So,
So maybe, whatever's good for you,
Yeah.
whatever you're comfortable with.
yeah,
too,
exactly. So events are something that I was going to really dive into, but then the pandemic hit.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then I didn't do it. And now I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do about events, but I know they work. And I know people have literally built a business off of events. But I just think all these together. So you want to invite people, and is it going to be big or small? I don't think you can go wrong. And then music, and then food of some kind. It could be, like you said, Renee, it could be hors d'oeuvres. It could be just desserts. So food, and we'll say beverage, leave that up to your discretion. And your crowd too, and then you can ask Jeff, if he'd be interested in partnering with you. So he always wants to meet more people.
Sure.
Always. That's our thing. What do? We meet people and we serve them. And so you're just always, it's a flow. See what I'm saying? Like, it's a flow. Now there's other things you could do, but this is an amazing business plan. Another event you could do, and I remember Lori Logan from Keller Williams when she was like a trainer when I first joined, and she said she built her business off of homebuyer workshops.
That's right.
You schedule
there
a
when she
thing,
first
you
decided
can
to do
use
that.
this room, invite some people, or a Regis office in Elk Grove until you're used to knowing what to
Absolutely.
present. I could do the first two for you. You literally could record it on your phone and then you practice it and then you just do it. And you don't even have to know what's next after the home buyer workshop. You don't even have to know what to do with them after that. It's a good way to capture more leads, add value to people, especially in this market. A lot of people are still curious about investing. I have a friend who's an expert at investments, and she has said that she would make herself available sometime to do an investment workshop if you ever wanted to do that. Those are just ideas. So there's a lot to be done. No one's going to do it for us because we are our own employee. And it comes back to be the agent that you would hire. So don't feel like you have to do all of this at once, right? Maybe you have the time and the wherewithal and you can do all of it at once. For me, my first year and a half, this is all I could do. This is it. I had a CRM. I wasn't even using it. Everything was manual. I had notebooks. Did I call them? When did I call them? I'd write it down, or I'd have an Excel spreadsheet. I didn't have the capacity to set up my CRM. I just didn't. And so then I added all this. And now I'm thinking about doing this. I haven't even done that, right? And so you don't have to have you need to do something, right? So or even if you just did this. Here's the thing though, this is a longer play. Okay. If you need money now, you got to do that.
You need traction.
You need to hop on the phone and call every cousin, aunt, uncle, who do you know that needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Now me, instead of doing that to my friends and family, I would rather talk to strangers who are already interested in talking about real estate. Okay. So that's why I liked open houses. But if you're not doing this, you got to hop on that phone, and then you're doing this for sure. If you're not doing this, you have to do this. Otherwise, you literally have no business at all. And then if you're doing this, that's going to you'll get business and it will come and you won't even have to ask for it. After a while, like I haven't had to look for business in 4 years since I started this. With this frequency, you have to do this frequency. Otherwise, it won't be effective.
But again, the software is doing a lot of that for you.
I'm not physically doing it. Yeah. I'm not
You're
manually doing
you're
it.
inputting the very bare bones.
And I have a system and
then
you press the button and boom, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now, if you're on my team and you have a split with me, this is available to you at a fraction of my cost.
Yeah.
Okay. So absolutely, we can talk about that. But, I just think with the current tools you have in EXP, you could do a light version of this for what you're already paying your $85 a month. So it's really, what's the best strategy? It's the one you do. That's it. So was this good today?
Yeah. Awesome.
All right.